Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to tackle a huge question today. Could AI totally reshape how we work and maybe, just maybe, give us our time back?
I mean, think about it. What if you could work one less day every single week, but for the exact same pay? A permanent 3-day weekend. Sounds like a dream, right? But the question is it just a fantasy, or is it actually becoming our future?
Well, for a growing number of people, it's already a reality. This isn't science fiction anymore. And the one thing that could take this from a cool experiment to the new normal for everyone, you guessed it, it's AI.
So let's look at how this dream is becoming a reality. We've always been told that more hours equals more work done. But what if that's just wrong? These experiments are showing something pretty radical. Working less can actually mean getting more done.
And the results? They really do speak for themselves. We're not talking about tiny little improvements here. I mean, look at Microsoft Japan. Their sales per employee shot up by almost 40%. And this isn't a one-off. In a huge global trial, a whopping 92% of companies that tried the 4-day week kept it. That's a massive vote of confidence.
But you know what's even more important? It's not just about the company's bottom line. It's about people. We're seeing burnout drop by 2/3, mental health improving by over 40%. People are even sleeping better. So yeah, it's a win for productivity, but it feels like an even bigger win for us, for the employees.
Okay, so if the 4-day week is the dream, what's the engine that's going to make it a reality for everybody? This is where AI really enters the picture. Think of it as the supercharger, the thing that unlocks the efficiency we need to make this work everywhere.
And the scale here is just mind-boggling. We're talking about a potential $4.4 trillion boost to productivity every year. To give you some perspective, that's bigger than the entire economy of Germany. This isn't just a small tweak. This is a full-blown economic revolution waiting to happen.
And this isn't just a theory. We're seeing it happen right now. Check out this chart. The industries that are jumping on the AI bandwagon, their productivity is growing 3 times faster. The numbers don't lie. AI is a huge, huge accelerator.
And here's where it all connects back to the 4-day week. Get this. For companies that are already using AI, 93% of their leaders are open to the idea. They see it. They see the potential firsthand. They see that direct line from using AI to working fewer hours. It just makes sense to them.
Okay, but here's the other side of the coin, the big but in this whole conversation. The same technology that could free us, that could automate all the boring stuff, could it also automate us right out of a job? Is this really freedom for everyone, or is it going to be freedom for some and just fear for others? And that fear is very real. It's not just a few people worrying in the corner. Look at this. A staggering 71% of workers are concerned that AI will cause job losses. So this isn't some fringe idea. It's what most people are actually thinking.
And this really gets to the heart of the paradox, right? You've got experts on one side, like Goldman Sachs, saying 300 million jobs could be on the line. But then you have the World Economic Forum on the other side saying, hey, wait a minute, we think AI will actually create a net 78 million new jobs. So what's the real story? Are we looking at massive job losses or a new wave of job creation?
And listen to this quote from the CEO of Anthropic, a major AI company. He predicts AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years. That is a pretty stark warning, especially if you're just starting your career.
But maybe it's not as simple as your job is gone. The reality seems to be a bit more complicated. It's less about jobs just vanishing and more about the actual definition of a job totally transforming. We're in the middle of a massive workforce shift.
And here's the key idea to wrap your head around. It's task automation, not necessarily job elimination. Think about it. AI is amazing at the boring, repetitive parts of your job, the stuff you probably don't like doing anyway. The idea isn't to replace you, it's to free you up to focus on the stuff humans are actually great at. Strategy, big ideas, and solving tricky problems.
Let's take a financial analyst, for example. This shows how a job can change. Step 1, the AI does all the grunt work, pulling data, making reports. Step 2, the human analyst comes in, checks the AI's work, and looks for the real insights. And that frees them up for Step 3, focusing on what really matters, giving strategic advice and building relationships with clients. See, they're not just doing the work anymore, they're directing it.
So what this all means is that the skills we need are changing, and fast. We're talking 44% of all worker skills are going to be disrupted by 2028.
That's a huge challenge for sure, but it's also a huge opportunity. Because the people who learn to work with AI, they're already getting paid more, a lot more. It means learning new things isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely essential to stay in the game.
So, where do we go from here? What happens next? Because this isn't just a fun thought experiment. Real decisions are being made right now by governments and companies that are going to define what work looks like for the next 10 years.
And I mean right now. We're not talking about 2050. Look at this timeline. Spain is already moving to a shorter work weeks next year. By 2026, AI copilots are going to be as normal as email. The future isn't coming, it's already here.
And when someone like Bill Gates starts talking about this, you probably ought to listen. He's not just floating the idea of a 4-day week. He thinks the productivity boom from AI could be so massive that a 3-day work week isn't out of the question. A 3-day week. I mean, wow.
So, it all comes down to this one huge choice. The technology is giving us a massive opportunity. It's handing us the key to work less. But the tech doesn't make the decision for us. We do. As a society, we have to decide what to do with all this extra productivity. Does it all go to boosting company profits? Or do we use it to give people their time back, to enrich our lives?
Look, AI is making us more productive. That part is becoming clear. So the question isn't really if we can get more done in less time anymore. The real question is, what are we going to do with all that time we get back? And that's the question that's going to define everything for the next decade. Thanks for watching The Explainer.